Hi, Mallory. Welcome to our next podcast.
Thank you, Laura. I'm very excited to be here.
I am so excited to chat with you. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
I have written a bunch of YAs under the pen name Kass Morgan, including The 100, which was turned into a TV show on the CW, later Netflix, which I'm still pinching myself about. It still feels weird to even say it aloud, but I actually have my first adult book under my own name coming out called Save the Date, about a lavish wedding weekend gone very wrong. And then I also have a YA as Kass Morgan coming out in June. This is my summer of romance, and that one is
Yes.
called Royal Summer.
So you came from like another genre. You're like, you know what? We're going to move to romance. We're going to do this. You got Save Today, which is a rom-com. One of my favorite rom-coms is a ensemble cast rom-com, multiple storylines and multiple things. And then we got a Royal Summer, which we have Falling in Love with the Prince of Language.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was going to do another Kass Morgan book, but this sort of idea was percolating, and HarperCollins was on board. They're like, we would love you to write a book about an American girl who meets a prince in Scotland while she's interning for a famous raid. I'm like, really? Because this is just like daydream fan fiction material for me. Do you think anyone's actually going to want to read it? But they think so. Oh, I'm so excited about this one.
I'm saving that one. I'll read that one too, because I love Save Today.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, Royal Summer is just pure wish fulfillment. If I could wave a magic wand, that's what I would have wanted to do the summer after high school.
Yes, like why don't you just go to Scotland and you just have a prince in hiding and you're supposed to talk to your favorite author and have like intro? What more can you ask? And you have adult responsibility. You have to be no.
Yeah, that's funny because working on Save the Date, like you obviously want some of it to be wish fulfillment, aspirational. That's the fun part about romance, but you also have to make it realistic. So it's about finding that balance. You want a beautiful location and a setting someone wants to spend time in, but you also have to torture your characters or else there's plots.
Yes. I think that's the difference between young adult where it's coming of age. We have like different areas where we're trying to like problems are fairly easy to solve. They might be devastating at the time where you're 17, 18. But when you're an adult, you actually have adult responsibilities and you have to confront things that you have freedom, but then there's also the constraint about you're probably hurting other people's feelings and you're actually making more devastating decisions. And romance, you're torturing them because you want to get the character arc, the emotional arc that coming of age is very simple to come. Then you don't have an adult romance.
Yeah. I've been editing YA novels because I'm a book editor for 18 years. I have never heard anyone put it that way. I think that is so smart and insightful because a lot of the time we try to distinguish between YA and adult because there's a lot of crossover. It's not just the age of the character, like you were saying, the stage of coming of age. But I think you nailed it. I feel, with YA, most of the barriers are internal. It's grappling with emotions to figure out who they are and advocating for themselves and accepting who they are. And in adult, it can be a lot more external circumstances. And there's overlap. I love that distinction.
Yeah, my first career, I worked with college students for about 10 years. I worked with millennial students. And so a lot of their problems are 18 to 21-year-olds who are like, what am I doing with my life? And I was like, oh, you just have the world ahead. And I was only like almost a couple years ahead of them. I see that problem. But then as I grow older, I'm in my middle age at this point, the problems are different. They're different. Like the world, and I take for granted that I had a pretty safe place where I was like in my 20s. We didn't have major problems that we have now. But I think it's a part of that process of coming to terms. And as an adult, you have different problems and you have to manage the world differently. And authors have to take that and make sense of it and make it realistic, but at the same time, don't make it too realistic because it's really devastating.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you're right. The problems are different and more complicated, but I think with the same emotional challenges apply. Are you ever talking to your friend and you're realizing, like, okay, I know what you're doing wrong in the situation, and that's because of this insecurity that I know goes back to childhood, or this was a weird thing with your family. The wounds of adolescence are never fully healed.
Yes, but let's talk about Save Today because I love that you had a homage for a little bit of that.
You're very kind to use the word homage because I just really heavily borrowed from all my
Yes.
favorite rom-coms. It is Sweet Home Alabama meets Something Borrowed meets
Yes.
My Best Friend's Wedding meets
Valentine's
Runaway
Day.
Bride meets 27 Dresses. Yeah,
And
it's like, how many tropes can I throw in there?
so it's like it's a naughty's rom-com. It's like the elite time where we just need this, and now I need this actually to be produced in a film and have this all these elements you have it in its ways.
I think I really did any future producer a favor. It's 2 locations. You get a tax credit for the Canada part. Come on, people.
Yeah. So today features a bride who's about to get married, but oops, she forgot that she hasn't gotten divorced. So she has to clear that up. Then we have the maid of honor, who is maybe secretly in love with the groom. And then we have the older sister who's hiding a major secret from the bride, but also has a crush. I kind of got it. And then you get the 3 different stories. So you get, if you like one, then if you don't like one, you have 2 other more to follow through. So you can keep yourself entertained. There's multiple storylines.
Yeah. You know, the challenge, like I know whenever I read books with multiple POVs, there's always one character I like more or one character I like less. And so the challenge as the author is making sure that readers are going to have their favorites anyway, but it's making sure you don't have your favorite because then you make one character a little more sympathetic or nuanced. So making sure that, yeah, you give each person their due and their opportunity to shine.
So I typically ask this to writers who write ensemble casts, especially rom-coms. What's your the biggest area of challenge coming up with the story to balance everything out, because you're trying to keep the story moving forward, but at the same time keep it in a way that's balanced and no one person, as you mentioned, takes the forefront and takes the whole thing. How do you keep the characters at peace for making sure that they'll get equal airtime?
That's a great question. So this book, it wasn't so much the plotting that was a challenge to keep balance, mostly because I have incredible editors who are plotting geniuses. The challenge for me, because something that bothers me in multiple POV books, is when every character sounds the same. And so it actually wasn't that easy to make each woman's voice distinct. Not just the way they communicate, but the way they see the world. It's almost like one of those 8 block. So you put these 3 women and they're going to see something else. So it was really getting into their head. And something else I was aware of is, I think Rainbow Rowell said it's okay for characters to have speech tics, but it's not okay for writers. So I had to make sure that my favorite phrases or my favorite rhetorical devices didn't creep into every character's POV, or else they would really start to sound the same.
That's really interesting, because I would that makes sense. Basically, how do you actually diversify their speech and how their voices had to be distinct from each other? And that's probably a hard job to have to come up with this distinct and make it fun and make it. And because this is a rom-com, this is not supposed to be someone kill someone. This is actually supposed to be fun and fluffy and great, but at the same time make it seem in a way that you're torturing them in a way that sounds distinct from each other and their torture.
Yeah, though I did flirt with the idea of a murder. When I was plotting out the first draft, it didn't feel like something big enough. So I was like, did someone die? That's the lazy way. I mean, I love thrillers. Those writers are geniuses. I could not do that. But one of my first mentors told me that there's this debut author, tendency to just have a gun go off, at the end of the novel when they sort of panic. They're I don't know what's supposed to happen now. So I'm always aware of when I want to introduce some sort of random catastrophe. And that means something is working emotionally. You don't have to bring in a terrorist attack.
Yes, I understand. I do like mystery rom-coms. So I do like when there's a murder on the side.
Wait, what's a mystery rom-com?
Yes, they're newer coming up. And basically, it's sort of like a marriage of an amateur's blue, like a cozy mystery, but there's a romantic interest happening. So they're either solving a murder, but the murder's off page. It's not on page. So it's kind of like a murder. There's a catastrophe, a plotting device that's happened, an external conflict they're resolving. And sometimes they're falling in love with the guy who's helping solve the murder, or they're against the murder and they're trying to go fight it and they're enemies to lovers. So it depends. There's Danny Elder Moke has a couple ones that actually have sexy times, and it's a publishing retreat, a company retreat. and someone dies.
Wait, what's that called?
Cross your heart and hope he dies.
Oh my God.
So there's two of those, and they're very like contained to one place, and they're trying to solve the murder. It's kind of like an Agatha Christie, but there's still a mystery.
Okay.
Bellamy Rose, who's Amanda Elliott, I think it is, has Pamela Afton solving
I love
murder.
her.
And that one, it's a Paris Hilton. She has to solve her grandma's murder. Otherwise, she loses her trust fund. And so the guy who's helping her, they're solving the murder. And she's solving murders with that era. So yeah,
That's so good.
so yes, there might be a need for a murder.
I love cozy murder for reasons. That's brilliant.
Cozy murders they're still hot, so it is okay. So I'm glad that I introduced you to another genre. But we gotta talk about your favorite day ever, which is competing Jeopardy. Talk to us about that experience.
It was a dream come true. I just took the online test and then I got on the show. And it was really stressful, but it was also really fun. It was before they had the permanent new host, before Ken got the job full time. So it was actually Maya Bialik, who was my host, which was very cool. But yeah, so that was like an amazing day. And it was almost like the end of Slumdog Millionaire. I couldn't sleep the night before. So I stayed up watching like documentaries, and I watched the Fire Fest documentary. And then that ended up helping me get the correct answer for Final Jeopardy. But the best part was at my high school reunion. 1-year reunion was a few days after the episode aired. And no one from high school has ever cared that I've written books. Like, I'm from LA, so the fact that they were turned into a TV show, no one cares. They all work in TV and movies. But everyone watches Jeopardy. It was just, boy, I had a crush on all through high school. I was like asking me questions about it. But I was like, I finally earned everyone's respect.
Oh my gosh, I love this. This is like the best comeback after high school reunion. I was like, you know what? I won Jeopardy. Many of y'all.
I mean, required to compete. Jonah Hill was actually in my class, and he was at the reunion. He was very sweet, and congratulated on Jeopardy. And congrats on your numerous Oscar nominations. That's the same category of achievements.
Very proud. But Jeopardy! It's Jeopardy!
It was really cool.
Them, you know, because at the end of the day, it's
you blossom thing.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, she was like elder millennials, like, yeah, our big sister taught us about like wacky fashions and hats.
Yes, and hats and sex and Joey Lawrence.
Oh, yes.
Wait, we're talking about the Lawrence brothers. Those
the
are
gift that keeps on giving.
Yes. So it is so good. I am so glad that you went to Jeopardy and shared this experience. You're actually
take the online test. It's so fun.
I was in New York about, 15 years ago. I took the test for Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Did not make it.
Cool.
But I was very excited. I was in New York. I did every opportunity out there, attended every talk show that was free. I tried to become an extra at Law and Order, but they didn't pick me, which I was very surprised because they pick everyone.
They need a lot of bodies.
Extra at Law and Order, but that's the beauty of being in New York. You just try to do whatever it is. So
next time.
Let's talk some book recommendations. Do you have any books you recommend our listeners to pick up?
Yeah. Let's see. I read lots of genres. So my number one recommendation right now, if you like historical romance, is The Trouble with Anna by Rachel Griffith. And I don't read a lot of historical because I'm like a history snob. If it just sounds too contemporary or people don't get the language quite right, or if it feels too anachronistic, I just lose interest. But she nailed it. So it feels like Jane Austen, the setting and the dialogue, but it's also like really sexy. So if you ever wish Pride and Prejudice had more spice, that's the book for you.
Yes, I am excited for this one. Actually, I saw your recommendation and bumped it up, and I was like, yeah, I have to.
I can't wait to hear what you think.
And I also love that you love anything Kara McDowell. I really love her latest one, The Write-Off. It's so good.
She's a genius. She's a genius.
Yeah.
I'm intimidated by her talent, and she's really nice, too.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's a good companion for your book because there's like enemies to lovers in this one.
I would love to do an event with her sometime.
So Mallory, tell us where we can find you online.
I have no website, and that is something I have to do before my publisher realizes and killed me. But I'm on all social media at Kass Morgan Books because I didn't really know how to go from my pen name to my real name. So I'm just trying to make it work. Yeah. And I'm learning the new landscape. I used to love Twitter, but I think I've been like quietly blackballed, as we all have. So I'm Instagram. So if anyone has any tips for me, please send me a DM.
Awesome. Thank you, Molly, for being on the show.
Oh, thanks so much, Lauren. This was great.
Thanks for listening to the What to Read Next. For more book lists, cozy reads, and library tips, visit the whattoreadnextblog.com. Your next great read might be waiting there.